Hey everyone, this is part two of the week two work lecture. In this, I'm going to go over the graded assignment for this week, which is the Essay 1 outline. Okay, so I've already gone over the essay with you. I've gone over what the what's about, and so now I'm going to help you talk to you about how to create the Essay 1 outline that is due for a grade at the end of this week. Okay. So if you go to the week two file folder, you'll see these two things, the essay one outline template and the outline example. Okay. I'm going to create this outline example. And so by the end of this, what you see throughout this presentation is what is actually already posted here. Okay. So for you, while you are getting ready to do this, okay, you should go ahead and download this template and use your use this the template to write your outline. And then you should also have, if you if ideally you would also be using your library assignment or I don't know, activity assignment, your library research assignment to help you with this as well. Because if you did the library assignment research correctly, then the sources that you used on this assignment will go into your outline. So back to this. Okay. So download the template and go ahead and open it up, and you can start filling it out. This is what it's going to look like. First, last name, teacher's name, class, due date, all this. And we're going to start, you start filling it out. Okay. Header and heading. You want to double click up here and put your last name in capital letters, and then put your name, put buyers, the class, English 1102, and the due date, June 5th, 2023. And then you will copy and paste your essay prompt and list next to the thesis statement the main things you will focus on. Okay. So I'm going to be, and I guess you won't necessarily be copying and pasting your essay prompt, but you'll be writing your main idea here. So if we go back up to the essay topics, okay, which is, I guess it's in a different PowerPoint. Nope, I'm stupid. It's in the same PowerPoint I was just in. Right here, write an analysis essay about 1 to 3 of the assigned stories. Where are you going? Hills like white elephants. Serve an hour. Cat person. Consider how the female characters are affected by the patriarchy, or gender roles, or sexism, or existential dread, or how the author uses these things, okay, or a theme. So I'm going to talk about the patriarchy. The patriarchy in 3 stories. So I'm going to go to my outline, which is very close. I can feel it. Okay. All right, here we go. So I'm going to say this. My outline, I'm doing the 3 stages of the patriarchy. The patriarchy manifests itself in 3 different forms in the lives of women. And these are the 3 stories I'm going to discuss. In my thesis statement, I state the 3 stories and the 3 things I'm going to focus in on for my paper. The patriarchy is a physical threat to women like Connie. And where are you going? Where have you been? A social threat to women like Louise in The Story of an Hour. But sometimes it is weak, and women like Jig and Hills Like White Elephants are able to overcome it. Okay, that's my thesis. I thought about this. I want to talk about this patriarchy and how it appears in these 3 stories. Okay. Then fill in the main points that correlate to your thesis statements. So in your outline, you have main point 1, main point 2, main point 3. Okay. So like this part, the patriarchy is a physical threat to women like Connie and Where Are You Going, Where Have You Been? I mean, that's just from my thesis right here. The patriarchy is a physical threat to women. And then the patriarchy is a social threat to women like Louise in The Story of an Hour. Same thing here. Okay, these are just the 3 points that I'm going to be making in my essay. Then find quotes you will use from the story or stories for each paragraph. Okay, so I would go to Where Are You Going, Where Have You Been, and I'll go find a quote that demonstrates that the patriarchy is a physical threat. And so I found this quote: "There would be no one to live for during those coming years. She would live for herself." Oh no! Pause. That's from the wrong story. Okay, I fixed it. I had the wrong image. So, find a quote you will use from the stories for each paragraph. Okay, so my first main point: the patriarchy is a physical threat to women like Connie. So here's a quote from Arnold Friend: "I'm gonna get you, baby. Yes, I'm your lover. You don't know what that is, but you will. And I'll come inside you where it's all secret, and you'll give into me, and you'll love me." Ooh, that's a physical threat if I ever heard one. Okay, so I'd put that there. And let me just, and you would want to go ahead and put your quote, find a quote from each of your stories to go ahead and put on your outline. Okay. And then you want to find secondary sources. Secondary sources are quotes from outside sources that you want to put into your essay. Okay, the secondary source quote is outside research. Okay, that correlates to your point that you're being made. And so this is where you could go back to your library research. Okay, all the sources that I pulled from this, which was this source right here: gaslighting, misogyny, and psychological oppression, and this article from Miss Magazine, article from The Atlantic. Okay, I would read these and find a quote, one quote from each of these that correlates to my topic. Okay, and I would put those in so that your outline will look like, let's see, will look like this. Let me pull this up. So your outline looks like this. Okay. I have my introduction. The patriarchy manifests itself in 3 different forms in the lives of women. It's my thesis statement. My main point comes from my thesis statement. This right here is now right here. Okay. My supporting quote from Arnold Friend is here. And then my quote from Klein and Gibbs is this: "Feminist foremothers fought for women to have sexual freedom and agency, causing an increase in women's sexuality and sexual freedom. But as goes the fate for many feminist victories, patriarchal society was able to wrap sexual freedom for women into sexual accessibility for men without regard to consent." Okay, so this comes straight from this article, somewhere right down here. Okay, so that comes from the source that I used on my library research assignment, which was this entry right here. Okay, and continue this topic right here: "The patriarchy is a social threat to women like Louise in The Story of an Hour." I have my quote from the story: "There would be no one to live for during those coming years. She would live for herself. There would be no powerful will bending hers in that blind persistence with which men and women believe they have a right to impose a private will upon a fellow creature," which is about marriage. And then I pulled this quote right here from The Atlantic, from this article, okay, about how America is still a patriarchy. And the quote that I pulled from that is: "Among US born married women, only 6% had a surname that differed from their husband in 2004. Okay, and it wasn't until the 1970s that married women could even function legally using their maiden names. Among the youngest women, that rate is higher. So, like, this is about marriage, and this is about marriage. Then main point 3. Sometimes women like Jig and Hills like White Elephants are able to defeat the patriarchy. Here she says, I just know things. There's nothing wrong with me. I feel fine. And then I pulled this quote from this article, Gaslighting, Misogyny, and the Psychological Oppression. Okay, and I put it here. Now, after I did all this, the last thing I need to do is go ahead and create my works cited page for my essay. These are the 3 sources I'm using for my essay. Okay, so these 3 sources come from my library research assignment because I'm just going to use the same sources I used in this assignment. Okay, so if you found sources for this assignment that you can actually use in your paper, cool, do it. Don't reinvent the wheel. Okay, and so you just copy these over and paste them in your outline. Now, the only thing missing from this outline, which will be included in the final paper, is the correct citations for the stories. I will post those the week that you're working on the final paper. I'll post them, and you can just copy and paste based upon whichever stories you used, wrote about. You'll copy and paste those and put those in your works cited page as well. Okay. All right, great. So this is the way your outline should look. Okay. It should be full. It should have a thesis statement, and it should have 6 quotes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if you are talking about the same story in multiple paragraphs, you gotta have different quotes. You can't have the same quotes for every paragraph. Okay, they gotta be totally different. Totally different. Okay, totally different. So then, when you're done with all that, works cited page. Okay, you go to week 2, find the outline essay 1 Dropbox, and submit it. Okay, due by June 5th. Okay. If you have any questions, let me know. And real fast, this is important because I'm going to show you next week, week 3, how to write your essay from your outline. We're going to write the actual essay from your outline. Okay, we're going to go into the outline and start writing the essay. Okay, and we're going to integrate those quotes and formulate them and add some analysis. Okay, so make sure that you take this outline seriously. Okay, all right.